try and budget but feel like you get to the end of the month and you're not able to save anything at all because you've been bombarded with these scenarios that you hadn't predicted, like things coming through your emails, people knocking on your door with junk mail and things that you can buy like pizzas. These are situations that you can easily change. So if you change your environment, you're able to save more money in the long run. And I can go through the top tips that I use to change your environment, to make it very difficult for you to spend in those situations. So hopefully these tips can help. The first way in which you can change your environment to improve your saving is to delete takeaway apps on your phone. It's January now as I record this in 2025, and we all want to get on that, health cycle of being better with our money, but also being better with our health. But if you have things like Deliveroo, Uber Eats on your phone, things where you can get food directly delivered to your door, like DoorDash in America, why don't you just delete them? Because we all know if you're feeling rubbish about yourself and you order a pizza online and it comes within 20 minutes, do you feel better about yourself after eating a full pizza in your pajamas on your couch? No, most likely not. We don't feel better after that. And of course, it's usually cost us like 20 or 30 pounds sometimes for a couple of pizzas, which is extortionate because it's just bread and sauce. So why don't you today delete the takeaway apps that are on your phone so you don't get tempted to splurge on things that are not good for you, but also that break the bank and that you maybe haven't budgeted for. And yes, of course, we all like to eat out. So maybe instead, why don't you go to a restaurant with your other half, or maybe bring your kids to like a food stall or a food market. You can, of course, still enjoy these things. But if you've got things like apps on your phone or emails popping up with special offers, you may be more enticed there to buy stuff that you actually don't want or need. So my second tip kind of falls into the first one also. It's to delete any sales emails that come in and unsubscribe from them. So these could be things like food, as we mentioned, but also things like clothes sales, like Black Friday sales, like, Boxing Day sales, St. Stephen's Day sales, any type of sales that could be on. You will get an email about it saying, oh, there's 20% off today. Oh, there's 50% off if you sign up now. These things can be a marketing tactic to make you buy stuff that you don't actually need or want. How many times have you fallen for these tricks because you feel like you're getting a saving, but in actual reality, you don't need that item? It's just like a false sense of saving money when you're actually spending money. So if you unsubscribe from these sorts of sale emails, you will of course be able to hold on to your money for longer and invest in your future rather than buying another coat you don't need. The third way you can change your environment to help you save more money is, are you living in a very messy apartment? This is my flat here and I'd like to keep it pretty minimalist during the day. I try anyway. Sometimes it's hard, okay? But I try and keep it pretty clean. However, if you're living in a messy home and you can't find shit, you can't find your umbrella, you don't know where your gloves are, you're gonna have to buy another hat because you don't know where it is in your pile of stuff. If you're living in a cluttered environment, you're more likely to spend more on things that you already have. If you can't find your umbrella and it's a feckin' rainy day, you're probably gonna have to go into a shop and spend another tenner on another umbrella, even though you've got two at home somewhere, thrown somewhere. So if you keep your space tidy, you're less likely to buy things that you already have. The fourth tip is to always look in your fridge. Don't go into the shop without fully knowing what's in your fridge, because that way you're more likely to pick up tomatoes again, even though you have tomatoes in the fridge. You're more likely to pick up milk and bread, even though you already have some at home. If you're not fully aware of what's in your kitchen, you will of course buy more food there without realizing that you're actually going to throw stuff away because it's going to go off. I read recently that about a third of the food that's produced globally goes to waste. And if you live in the UK, that's about 9.5 million tons of food waste every single year. Now, if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. So if you try and really cut down on your food waste, you will of course save money, but also help the environment as well. And we don't need to be throwing away food. There are lots of recipes online that you can make for like casseroles and stews to use up old veg that's in your fridge. So if you don't know what to do with them, do Google these recipes. I use them all the time. I've got a slow cooker that I always have on the go, and it's perfect for things like that, especially when it's cold outside. So try and cut down on your food waste to save, of course, your food bills, but also to be a better human. The fifth way you can change your environment to save more money is to try and not have your phone next to you all of the time. Are you someone who's absolutely addicted to your phone And if someone pauses the TV, you straight away pick up your phone and start scrolling on social media the whole time. This, of course, is a terrible habit, one, but two, it's going to be more tempting to buy more shite. Whether you're on Amazon and you can just buy something with a click of a button, or if you're on TikTok and you feel like someone is promoting a face cream that you really want to try now because they look like 15 but they are actually 15, you're not going to look like that if you buy the cream. So if you are on your phone more, you may be more tempted to buy more crap because you may fall into something called instant gratification. And I've done a video on this, which I'll pop up here if you're curious about it. But essentially what it means is you are falling into wanting to feel better about yourself. So you buy something to get a bit of a dopamine hit. However, if you try and have something like delayed gratification, you of course will be saving yourself money, but also saving your home from clutter, because you don't need to buy things that you see that someone has promoted straight away if you aren't really factoring in whether you need it or not. So delaying gratification really helps you just stop and think, do I need this item? Is it going to be beneficial to my life? Do I already have 5 of those at home? Or do I actually genuinely need this thing? AKA, does it rain a lot in the country that I live in? Do I have a raincoat? No. Okay, I need to buy a raincoat. Do I have 3 colourful raincoats at home? Yes. Okay, I don't need another raincoat. It's to kind of make you stop and think whether there's a genuine need for it. So the next way you can change your environment to save more is to delete Google Pay on your phone. If you're one of these people who's a bit of a shopping addict and who needs help in this situation, and you feel like it's just too easy to tap your phone to buy more shite, okay? Help yourself out, okay? Make the environment very difficult for you to actually buy things very quickly. So if you delete things like Google Wallet on your phone, you can't just quickly tap for something to pay for it. Because a lot of these times when we just tap, we're not actually registering in our brain as to what we're actually purchasing. Because you're not giving physical money to people and it's not registering in your brain that this is costing you money from your bank account. So if you delete things like this and you're making it very difficult for you to buy stuff impulsively, you will physically have to go into your wallet, find cash or find a debit card, and it's almost like a moment to pause, to be like, oh, hang on, I only have £50 in my bank account, I cannot buy this thing. So give yourself the space to be able to think before you buy impulsively. The next way you can change your environment to help you save more money is to leave your bike by the front door. Now this one is kind of hilarious, but it has worked wonders for people that I've known who have left their bike in the hallway or left it by the front door. So even when they were about to take an underground or about to take a train, they realize, oh yeah, my bike is just here. It's a nice day, let me cycle. It'll save money, but also you get exercise in. So it might even get to the point that you don't have to pay for a gym membership. You're just cycling to work and back, or you're just cycling to see your friends nearby. And that way you can of course save the difference. AKA if you were spending £100 on a gym, but now you cycle everywhere, you can save that £100 instead. Or if you were spending £50 every week on the tube, but now you cycle, you can save that £50 every week, which is £200 a month, that you can put into either investments or a high yield savings account for yourself. So if you just change your environment, still live the same sort of life, actually live a healthier life, then you can of course save more money. The next tip to change your environment to help you save more money is to get one of those no junk mail stickers. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've had like pizza delivery orders come through my post box, Chinese takeaways, burgers here, sales here, and I don't eat any of that crap, but sometimes I'm very tempted to be like, oh man, there's half price on pizzas, maybe I'll get one of those. If you get one of those stickers that says, no junk mail please, I don't want any of that shite coming through my door, then you are helping yourself out. You're changing the environment of what you actually see come into your home, and you're just putting kind of boundaries in place. You are trying to be very good, you're trying to be very healthy, but if every week you're getting a pizza delivery thing come through your door to say, ooh, I'm 20% off, of course you're going to feel more tempted. So if you put the boundaries in place there, you'll of course help your health and your wallet in the future. So the next tip is to get a top-up card for nights out. So I have a top-up card, something called Chase, which is of course a bank in America, but they're also here in the UK. And you can, top up that card. So you only have money on that card when you go out. So sometimes I like to do that. I just put £50 on the card for the night. And I know that I can't physically go over £50 because that's all that's left on that card. So if it goes to zero, that's it. There's no money left to spend. However, of course, you do have to be careful, because if you're stuck on a night out after a nightclub at 3 a.m. and you need a taxi home, always have, access to maybe a credit card or another card that you can always get home when you're never stuck. But if you predominantly just pay with your top-up card on that night, you're of course very conscious that you only have £50 to spend here, and you're not going to spend so frivolously or so ludicrously that you're going to spend, into the hundreds, which you may do if you hadn't set boundaries for yourself. So it's about setting that environment for yourself, understanding how much you want to save. Yes, you can still have fun, still have the crack, put whatever limit you want on there, but be very mindful to not go over that. So Chase is something I use. There are multiple different top-up cards, so do have a look for whatever country that you're in. The next way you can change your environment to save money is to download these blockers that block the amount of time on your social media. I recently done this, actually right before Christmas, and I set a limit that I wasn't allowed to go on any social media from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Now that seems like quite a weird time, but I realized what I was doing is I was watching these reels or like TikToks or shorts, okay, for like an hour right before bed. So from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m, I was spending an hour on these like fucking 10-second videos, which of course can't be very good for your brain. And because it's like, of course, releasing dopamine, it's actually making you more awake. And having a look at that blue screen right before bed is also terrible for your brain and your sleep pattern. So I downloaded this free app, and it's literally just blocks your access to certain apps. So I set it to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, which I don't even use anymore. But I was setting an intention there. I was changing the environment. I wasn't even able to access these for that set amount of time. And now I've since deleted that blocker app, and I tend not to go on those apps at all at nighttime now automatically, because I know I'm like conscious about, oh, hey, that's not very good for my sleep. That's not very good for my productivity. I could read in that spare time, I could learn in that spare time, or I could have a relaxing bath and kind of slow down my brain rather than being addicted to social media. So this is obviously a healthy one and a lifestyle one, but also it can refer to your wallet too, because if you're in a tired state at night and you see something online, on Instagram, on TikTok, to buy this thing now, otherwise you lose out. Of course, in your sleepy state, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that looks great, I'll just buy it quickly, it's only £20, it's fine. If you put these boundaries in place when you are most vulnerable, you're of course helping yourself out there, because of course, if you're sleepy and you see something that's a deal, you're more likely to just buy it because you tend not to care at that time of night. So if you just download this, I would really recommend it. It's totally free and it will help your brain and your wallet. Do you guys have any other examples of how you change your environment so that you're able to save more money? Have you been able to start to budget this year in 2025 and to be on that train to save more money? I recently, of course, moved from a 1.2 interest rate to a 4% interest rate. So have a look at your interest rate of what's on your saving account now and quickly change to a high yield savings account. That is, of course, an easy way to get free money. You can triple your interest there in what I just did there in one of my accounts, and I didn't even realize it was so low. So do a bit of an audit yourself on what interest rate you have and try and improve upon it. These are often free to move into a high yield savings account. But thanks guys, I hope that was useful. I will talk to you soon. I tend to post 2 videos a week, but I'll see you next time. Bye.